Those are the victory horns, ladies and gentlemen. And they sound for Reinier de Ridder. Gets it done. Huge win. Biggest win of his career against Robert Whittaker. They also sound for Petr Yan with a dominant decision win over marc-andre. And there's a lot to break down from UFC Abu Dhabi. Thank you for joining us on the post-fight show. There I am. I am Mike Heck, and joining me to react to early day MMA from the Great White North, the one and only, my best friend, Alexander K. Lee. AK, how we feeling after some early day MMA?
This is how I speak now. This is how I communicate now.
You're saying it was a fun card.
Yeah, it's all right.
Wasn't the greatest card, but I had a good time, and that's really all that matters.
Nobody got hurt, is what I say. Is like most importantly.
I mean, Muhammad Yahya kind of got hurt, but at least it wasn't as bad as it looked.
He got hurt real bad.
He only got knocked down 7 times, though, so, I mean, he could have got knocked down 8 or 9 or 10 times because Jason Herzog would have let that fight go on forever if it was possible, but that's a story to discuss later on. But AK, Reinier de Ridder gets it done. Super close fight, split decision. I actually just looked at MMA decisions because I wanted to get a grasp to kind of see where I was at compared to everybody else. I do not count the MMA Mania scorecard. I think that is just really awful. 49-46 RDR is a terrible scorecard. It's just such a bad card. But pretty much everybody else had a 48-47 one way or the other. Looks like 8 media members had a 48-47 RDR. 7 media members had a 48-47 Robert Whittaker, including you. And if I'm throwing my score in there, 8 people have it 48-47 Robert Whittaker. That's how I had it as well. Clearly not a robbery, AK, super close fight, but your reaction to what RDR did tonight, picking up the biggest win of his career.
Yeah, huge, man, huge. And we had questions about him being able to gut out a 5-round fight, right? Like, he's got a lot of impressive finishes in his career. I think he has one 5-rounder in the rematch with Ong Lan Song. I think that was it. Mike, you had said I think pretty accurately in your sort of pre-fight predictions that if this goes past round 3, RDR could be in trouble. And as it turns out, he at least did enough damage early on, I think, to make it a little more even. Those knees to Whittaker's body, just like he was diminished. I mean, a couple of those landed clean, and you could just see the gas tank just drain. Like, that wasn't just normal fatigue. I mean, I know Rob's a bit of an older fighter. I know he's got a lot of wear and tear on him, but that wasn't just like, oh, I'm going 5 hard rounds and I can't, like, I'm gassing out now. Like, no, he was hurt. You got to credit RDR for those. And I think it's because of that work that Whittaker was not able to pull away in rounds 4 and 5 as we expected. Instead, we got 2 pretty murky to score rounds. I don't know if people had a better read on those than me, but you guys can check my my live blog on MMA Fighting. You can see I was struggling to figure out round 4. Round 5, I think I was a little more comfortable leaning Whittaker. I thought he just did more damage, but it wasn't much. When I say more, I mean a minuscule amount more. So no problem with the decision. And RDR, like, justifiably keeps himself in line for a title shot. I think we all want to see him in DDP someday, and this only increased like the call for that because the style is so wonky. It's so wonky. It seems slow, but it's so weirdly effective, and it certainly was tonight, as he did enough to get the win. Maybe it wasn't an exclamation point statement, but it was a solid period. It was a solid period. Like, I am a contender, and if they need someone for the winner of the UFC 319 main event, he's right there, man. He's right there, and he's ready to go.
So one of my questions coming out of this, and I was pretty impressed with RDR. I didn't come out of this fight being, yep, give him a title fight. Absolutely, unequivocally, he's the guy, because I don't come away with that. And I think if Khamzat Chimaev wins, I think pretty much everybody's in trouble outside of Paulo Costa, because the UFC likes to do UFC things. But I actually thought this is a pretty good night for Nasruddin Imavov and Caio Borralho, because it was a close fight. A lot of people thought Rob won the fight, so that certainly helps the case as well. I think if most people saw RDR winning this fight, he was just going out and just smushing Robert Whittaker and probably finishing him. But him eking out a split decision against Robert Whittaker. I think if you're Imavov and Bahalio, you got to be feeling like, all right, maybe the door is a little more open than I thought it was. Do you kind of feel the same way coming out of this, or do you think RDR just threw a monkey wrench in their plans altogether despite winning the way he did?
Yeah, I don't think he did anything tonight to like put a stamp on a no doubt number one contender statement. Like I definitely wouldn't go that far. Like I said, I'm impressed that we saw him win a very difficult 5-round fight against a former UFC champion. So in that sense, I'm impressed. But if the matchmakers and if you're Dana White, that's not something in your mind you're using to sell it. Like, hey, oh, we could tell fans, hey, remember when he gutted out that split call? Like, it's not a marketable thing. So I'm fine with him getting the title defense, but it wasn't a sure thing. He didn't like. It sounds so stupid to say it, but you kind of brought it up. He didn't, put up a wall between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev. Like, there's still that heat there. And if Paulo Costa is at 319 and causes a kerfuffle with Khamzat and Khamzat wins, that's the way they're going. Now, it is good for Imavov and Bahalio, but the pressure is on them now. Because if they go to like a 48-47 decision, like, again, that should be a close fight, I think, on paper. If they go to a decision where neither guy is like definitive, or either it's not an exciting fight, or like neither guy definitively, takes over, or takes command of that contest, then they're back. They're back. Like Bahalio and Imavov are so good, but you don't get the sense that the UFC loves them. That they have been like trying to build either guy up as like, oh well, we really want Kyle Bahalio to get a title shot. We really want Nasruddin Imavov to get a title shot. I've never gotten that impression. I think they like them. I think they have some there talent-wise, but they've never really given them that hard championship push. Now, maybe they will after their fight if one of them stands out. But as it is, we've got a pretty wide open number one contender field at middleweight. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's good. I would be happy to see RDR get the shot. I would understand if Paulo Costa got the shot. I maybe wouldn't love it. And depending who wins the Imavov and Bahalio fight, I'd be very happy with one of those guys getting the title shot as well.
We're at an interesting spot, AK, because in 2 weeks we got Fluffy Hernandez, who is on one of the more impressive streaks in this entire division, fighting in a main event against Roman Dolidze. And if he goes out there and just Fluffy's all over Roman, that puts him in a great spot too. So maybe we do Fluffy versus RDR, which would be one of the best fights of all time with those two absolute animals getting after it. That'd be super fun. But I think kind of one of the takeaways here is, where does Robert Whittaker go now? Because we're kind of, we talked about this on the preview show. It's not like Rob is in fun fight territory, but he might be now, AK. I think Sean Strickland is kind of like the obvious choice here, but Sean is currently suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commission. We don't know how long, and we won't know for how long until he goes back in front of the commission sometime in August. And when you come marching Yahya at somebody and start throwing punches at a regional fighter in a cage during a professional MMA event, it's probably not going to go very well for Sean. It wouldn't shock me if he got like a year suspension or something to that effect. What happens now with Robert Whittaker? Are we just in, hey, let's just do fun things with him now? Like, it's kind of weird that we're in this position with a guy like that, but I think we have to start having this conversation.
This was like the opposite result of what we just saw at UFC 318. Like, where we're like, you know what, Dustin Poirier can walk away knowing like, yep, I understand where I'm at in my career now, and I can take this loss and I'm at peace. Rob, he said his exact words after were, I'm butthurt. I'm a little butthurt about the decision, and you can't blame him. So if you're him, he probably doesn't feel like he's lost much off his fastball. He has always been saying, I want one more run towards the world title. And there's not a lot that happened today, other than, again, if people want to question the gas tank, but I still feel like that had a lot more to do with the damage he took, as opposed to any difference between his fitness from his, where he was a year ago, where he was 2 years ago. I still think it's top notch. I think de Ridder just hurt him. So he remains in limbo, which is kind of where we said he'd be with a win. I remember before the fight we were saying like, let's say he beats de Ridder. Does that make him the number one contender? Definitely not. He's probably still one fight away, maybe 2 fights away, depending what goes on with a lot of the other names we mentioned. In some ways, like a good result for him because he didn't get blown out of the water. You could make a case that he won the fight. In some ways, a really bad result because if you're him and you're his team and you're his family, you're really questioning, like, is it still worth going through the grind? I think when I was doing the predictions for the website, I kind of described it as just like the miserable experience of like getting back in the gym, starting that climb again, hoping you can string together enough wins to like, make an unassailable case for a title shot. And again, even if you thought he won tonight, that's not what this was. Like, he wasn't getting a title shot if he got the split decision, right? He kind of would have been in a similar place. So I don't think he's going to give up. I don't think he should give up. I think he's going to keep putting off this sort of any talk of like a last dance run, I'm just searching for fun fights run, I just want legacy fights run. This isn't going to change that. And I actually really like the Sean Strickland suggestion, because maybe he gets the ear mic, but I don't know if we see Robert Whittaker again anytime soon. So he could certainly wait for it. He could certainly wait for that fight. I think it is one that is just for both guys where they're at in their careers. It really makes the most sense.
This might be a hot take, but I've been talking about this ever since their second fight. If the UFC wanted to do a third fight between Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya, wouldn't hate it. I know they're like buds now and they've trained a couple of times, so maybe they won't fight each other again. But if they made that fight, I'd watch it. I would definitely be intrigued by it, but we'll see where Whittaker goes. We'll see where RDR goes. That was a tough, grueling fight for him. Gets it done. We'll see if he gets a title fight or if he fights Fluffy Hernandez. As Jed likes to say, there's no wrong way to eat this Reese's for RDR in the middleweight division. Piotr Jan goes out there and beats Marcus McGee. It was a very fun fight. AK, we have bonuses. We have bonuses. Care to take a guess if you haven't seen them?
Yeah, I will guess. I have not seen them. Before, when we were doing the preview show, I said I was expecting no fight of the night. Now, I could be wrong. I thought we had some pretty entertaining contests here. But let's stick with my 4 finish prediction just to make it easy for myself. Bogdan Guskov for sure. Muslim Salikov for sure. Oh, maybe they did do a fight of the night, because I'm not sure. Like, I think Top of the Ricci deserves one. I don't know if she got it.
They did a fight of the night.
They did do a fight of the night. Okay, so it is Bogdan. It is Muslim. You give the fight of the night to the main event, right? I'm going to go logic here. Not what I think the UFC would do. I'm going to go what I would do. You give it to the main event.
Well, if we're going by what the UFC typically does, they give it to like the 5th best fight. Okay. I don't think they did it here, because otherwise I'd give it, and I think Casey would agree with me on this. If we're going by the 4th or 5th best fight of the night, Martin Budai and Marcus Buchecha should probably have gotten fight of the night, because that was electric.
They didn't.
Electric. Nope, they didn't get it.
That was the best bet of the night. That fight to go the distance was the best bet of the night. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah. The only bet I hit was that going over 1.5, and it was the easiest money I've ever made in my life. Fight of the night. And I'm going to pat myself on the back a touch here, because no one believed in Power Bar. No one believed in Marc-Andre Barriault. Even his fellow Canadians didn't believe in him. But Marc-Andre Barriault is getting $50,000 for being one half of the fight of the night of UFC Abu Dhabi against Shara Bullet. So shout out to Marc-Andre Barriault. I said that line was a little too crazy and it would be more competitive than the odds suggested, and he was. Muslim Salikov, 41 years of age, 41 years young, 42-second knockout, $50,000 in the bank account. Bogdan Guskov, no bonus.
Stop it.
The record-shattering Stephen Gwyn with 7. I'm giving him 7 knockdowns, because officially, in my book, he knocked down poor Muhammad Yahya 7 times. And finally, everyone had seen enough, because Jason Herzog he had the over 1.5 or something in this. He had to have bet on the over 1.5. I'm just joking, but Stephen Gwyn with his record-setting 7 knockdowns, or 6 officially by the UFC, although I'd like them to rewatch that fight, gets the other performance of the night, and I think that is pretty fair. When you're breaking knockdown records, you should probably get a bonus.
I would have gone the 4 bonuses. Now that you've given me the with respect to Shara and Marc-Andre Barriault, my fellow Canadian, I would have gone 4 bonuses, because I thought Top of the Ricci's elbow was friggin' sweet. Like, I don't know, some people missed the prelims, but man, she snuck in this like elbow at a weird angle and just
in the eyeball.
In the eyeball, man, that wasn't good. So she should have gotten a bonus, and Bogdan definitely should have gotten a bonus. He just took out a top 10 guy in under a round. What's Bogdan got to do?
I also think the main event was better than Shara Bullet and Marc-Andre Barriault. Like, MAB gave me some hope in round 2, hurt Chara Bullet a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, this might happen. And then Chara just kind of like took him out in the 3rd round, just kind of beat that ass. RDR Whittaker was just fun and compelling. It was kind of edge of your seat stuff. But hey, congrats to Marc-Andre Barriault for getting an extra 50 Gs. 50 Gs, 2 consecutive events for Marc-Andre Barriault. How about that? Got a performance bonus in his last fight. Now he gets a fight of the night. Things are looking up for Power Bar these days. We mentioned Petr Yan gets a decision win over Marcus McGee. He wants a title fight. He told me he will weigh in as the backup for the Merab Sandhagen fight if that's what they want, but he's not fighting anybody else unless it is the winner of that fight. And I got to tell you, I think it's the right choice. We mentioned Chara Bullet. Asu Almabayev defeats Jose Ochoa. Didn't actually see a 30-27 coming from Asu Almabayev, but gets it done, bounces back. It was not a fight we're going to go back and rewatch, if we're being honest. We mentioned Bogdan Guskov. Some fun at 205 pounds, AK. Anthony Smith's lookalike, the doppelganger, going in there, just icing out Nikita Krylov like it was nothing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Aslan Elkanah when you said fun at 205 pounds. I thought you meant a preliminary bout between
oh my God,
Ebo and
honestly, I don't want to be a jerk, but that was one of the worst fights of the year.
It's bad.
It was real bad.
I actually laughed. I think early on, I don't remember, one of the commentators was like, well, I didn't expect the fight to go this way. And like, I know Aslan's a knockout artist. I get it. That's why you book a fight like this. This is the state of light heavyweight now. That going to decision actually did not surprise me. I don't know if I thought it would be such a stink bomb, but light heavyweight and heavyweight, I mean, these are just bad divisions, man. You have literally almost any matchup outside of maybe the top 5 of those divisions. You have like a better than 50% chances going past the 2nd round or something. It's rough. It's rough out there right now.
Tough scenes. Bryce Mitchell gets a win over Said Nurmagomedov. I'm sure we'll get questions about that fight and where Bryce Mitchell goes. We mentioned Bulletin Salikoff with a win. Davey Grant got that dog at him, AK. Got that dog at him. 39 years of age. He's just got that grit that the Damon Blackshears of the world just don't have. That's what won Davey Grant this fight. He made Damon uncomfortable. Damon thought he was just going to bully him. And Davey Grant's like, nah, not happening. Not today. And Davey Grant gets another victory. Tabitha Ricci, you mentioned, gets a finish. Probably the fight that was least likely to get finished on people's cards was that one, just because people thought it was going to be really, really close and just sort of typical fights for both of those ladies. But good on Tabitha Ricci. Billy Elakana, Ibo Aslan. It's the last time we'll probably mention that fight. Stephen Wynn, 7 knockdowns. I'm still giving it 7. No 10-7s in that round, which drives me fucking crazy.
What?
Like, people are like, there are other media members like, yeah, 10-8s, great job. I'm like, he knocked him down 5 times. 5 times? Like, what does it take to get a 10-7 round in MMA? In boxing, if someone gets knocked down 5 times and there's no 3 knockdown rule, it's a 10-5 round. But in MMA, you can almost kill a guy 5 times and you don't get a 10-7. It's insane.
I did not.
10-7.
I did not. I have to go look at this now. I did not see the scorecards up to the point of the finish. Hold on. This is the second fight of the night.
Wait till you see round 2.
That is interesting.
No 10-8s in round 2, even though Wynn knocked him down twice.
I thought we would see like the first 10-5 in UFC history. That's how bad that first, like he was. I'm really disappointed in Jason Herzog. I'm really disappointed in Yahya's corner. I just like, I don't even know why I'm disappointed at this point, because we know corners in MMA just don't stop fights. It's not a thing that's done. Like, I don't know who you guys are. I don't know your names. I'm not going to call you out other than calling you Yahya's corner, but like, you guys effed up tonight. Like, you got to protect your guy. He was, and I know what early in round 2, he kind of caught Gwyn with something, but like, that dude at that point is just an autopilot. Like, he does not remember. I guarantee you, he doesn't remember 90% of that fight. He will watch that footage and he'll be like, oh, like that happened to me? Oh, like I got knocked down there. I got knocked down again. Like it is just a blur. And you guys have got to look out for his health. This was genuinely like uncomfortable to watch. Like I'm glad Stephen Gwynn got a bonus. Because really he should have gotten a first round finish, if we're being honest. So I'm glad he got that money. But whoever Yahya's team, he might be done with the UFC. I think he's 0-3 now, I believe, after that fight. So that might be the last time. Maybe that's why they went all out. Maybe that's why they didn't want to stop the fight. They're like, oh, this is his last chance. But it's like, where are you guys going with this? I'm not a doctor. How did you guys not see how badly hurt he was? It's clear as day. You are there with him. He's on your stool. He barely made it to the stool after round 1.
Yeah, honestly, out of everything that happened in that fight was him stumbling back to the corner and Herzog literally walking beside him and not stopping the fight there. It's just like, bro, what are you doing?
Bad,
like at that point, you'd just be like, all right, I'm stopping this. Like I gave you so many chances. You can't even make it to your corner. Like enough is enough. 5, 6 knockdowns, however you want to call it. Like it's rough.
It only got stopped because of the swelling, right? It was just that he couldn't see out of the eye. That's the referee stoppage, right? Too much swelling, he couldn't see. Not that they were like, oh, he's taking a savage beating. Probably should not be fighting for another 5 minutes. They're just like, oh, he can't see.
It was a doctor stoppage officially, yeah.
Oh my God, guys, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. That's just it's 2025. We've been watching MMA for a long time. Like I don't know how we're still allowing this stuff to happen. I hope he's okay. Congrats to Gwyn, and I hope Muhammad Yahya is all right, man. I hope he doesn't. This doesn't.
Yeah, I guess he's okay. He had a CAT scan. I guess like no big damage, no facial breaks or anything like that. So I guess all things considered, about as good of an outcome as you can get. But
book him next week, Mike. Book him next week. I heard
hey,
we got some cards coming out. Book him in.
You know how I feel about fighters who get or get got and get got really, really well, and how there's value to that. I'm not playing that card for Muhammad Yahya. I think he needs to go back to like UAE Warriors or something like that, and it just not take beatings like this. Like this featherweight division is just full of absolute killers. So yeah, tough scenes, tough night for Jason Herzog. Wasn't great, but what a night! The electricity was in the air for Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha. Casey and I watched that fight with the peeps live as it went down. I had more fun watching that fight than most fights I've watched in 2025. But Martin Buday gets the win over Marcus Buchecha.
I'm only sad it wasn't a splitty. I think when this fight was first announced, I'm like, this is Martin Buday's split decision. All of. But I underestimated him. Mike, he was even better at blocking a lot of that grappling than I thought. Came out. Every takedown where he just like fell on top, like just stuffed it and just fell on top of Buchecha, I just started laughing because I'm like what? I'm sorry. Who? I guess Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie was what the last like. Oh, this guy's a crazy ass, grappling champion, and is going to come in and take like him and Alex Caceres' UFC debut, right? So that was it. I think that was like the last time. How many guys do we have to see who are like, oh, 12-time ADCC champion, oh, multiple gold, whatever, like, and then guys, MMA is not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And we see them come in and they put on these performances, and it's just like, and look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Buchecha learns from this, bounces back. He's 35 years old, guys. He's not, which I had heavyweight, yes, is young, but he's been competing just in martial arts for a long time. This is not like some young buck who's like, oh, he doesn't have much mileage on him. He's like, we kind of know who he is. And I hope he gets 10 UFC fights, mixing a few highlight reel submissions, but this debut was so predictable. I couldn't believe how many people out there I saw like, oh man, first round submission. I'm like, how is he gonna do this?
There are people who work with us who felt like, all right, finally the heavyweight division's got to get like a refresher because Marcus Buchecha is here. I'm like, have you watched him fight? Like he can get good submissions when he's fighting like 1 in 12 dudes. But this is Martin Buday, ranked UFC heavyweight. You know how deep this division is? There's like 19 fighters on the entire roster right now for heavyweight. But
Buchecha knew, man. Like he said it. Guy spoke to him. Guy has an interview. It's on the fight. You guys can go find that interview, the pre-fight interview. And he was like, yeah, Buday is like a legitimate black belt. He's like, I am not expecting to run through this guy on the ground. Like he knew this was going to be a tough fight. So I don't know why we all thought we knew better than him, I guess.
All right, let's go to the peeps. I want to see what you guys are all saying. We probably got like 15 or 20 minutes to rifle through some of the topics here, and we'll do exactly that. So, oh, there he is. Wow, that was a shuffle. I went left, I went right, and now I'm back in the middle.
I just want to point out that I thought Buchecha won. First, I thought it was a robbery.
How?
What do you mean? I thought go to MMA decisions, man. More media.
I'm going right now.
Won. The fans thought
you
Buchecha
are
won.
lying.
That was a robbery, man.
Lying.
Do your job.
Right
do
now.
your little robbery review,
okay.
man, and correct this injustice. AK Lee, do it.
Eight people thought Buchecha won that fight.
Yeah,
Wow.
including Mike Heck and EKC Leiden. We thought Buchecha won. So AK, I'm so mad at you, AK.
I need to watch this fight again. You know what? I look forward to watching this fight again. It'll be
You
my
have to.
pleasure.
Yeah,
you should watch it while watching Casey and I watch it.
Yeah, just watch our watch party of it, and then don't even watch the fight. Just watch us react to the fight, and that will give you a better impression of how amazing this was.
Right. Yeah.
And it wasn't okay. First of all, it wasn't even like the judges clearly robbed Buchecha, and the UFC clearly stole $50,000 from both those gentlemen because that was fight of the night. God dang it.
That was so electric. That was more electric than Brendan Allen Marvin Vettori.
And credit to the UFC for opening the card with the real main event. Let's just say that was the real main event. I don't know what these middleweights are doing at the top of the card.
I know,
but the real main event.
This is Hamdi and Mosman all over again. All I have to say is fight goals at distance was plus 205 on FanDuel. And I
should have
hope
taken that instead.
I hope a lot of people made money off of this because I certainly enjoyed it. I'll just say that. Don't bet on MMA, but let me just say I enjoyed that line and what it may have potentially produced. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've gotten creamed the last 2 weeks, but over 1.5 and minus 130 was like the best bet. It was the easiest and safest bet of my life. So.
And before we go to the questions, I just want to throw this in because I know that was a really hot but like correct take. My cold take is I did agree with MMA Mania, and I did score the fight 4-1 for RDR.
Wow.
I don't agree, but I think it's not crazy. I get what Casey's about to say. Sorry, Casey, go ahead.
I thought was it round 3 where RDR almost got knocked out?
When Whittaker had RDR like almost out.
Yeah.
You gave RDR that round.
I did give RDR that round. My point is, I know everything's based on damage. Yes, there was initial damage from the big shot. All credit to Whittaker. He almost finished the fight. But I feel the wrestling and the knees to the body actually did more damage overall to Robert Whittaker. And that eventually led to me, him winning the last 2 rounds. That's my thing. I totally understand how if you think the knockdown gave him the round, I have no issue with that. But I think it's one of those rare things where I think that because after RDR got dropped and everything, there wasn't any long-lasting damage from that shot. He kind of recovered and he was back. The wrestling and the takedowns and the knees that RDR gave to Whittaker that round, I felt that did longer-lasting damage throughout the fight in terms of cardio and just terms of, just Whittaker's performance. So that's just a bit of a take from me, but no issue. I think the right guy won the fight. I think that's what really matters. I think I know it was a super close fight. It was a great fight.
Yeah.
But I'm just throwing that out there.
It's fine. If you scored it for RDR, it's fine. I enjoy the compelling nature of your argument. And if we're in the Casey Leiden sort of hindsight scorecards, you're probably right. Like the damage that was inflicted in round 3 to Whittaker probably gave RDR the victory. And if we could go back and be like, you know what, round 3, because of what I saw in round 4 and round 5, I'm actually going to give that our round to RDR because of what he did in round 3, despite almost getting knocked out. But good fight, man. It was a good fight. I learned a lot about RDR. I thought after watching some film on Whittaker last night that Whittaker was just going to clobber him all over the place, but that knee just kept landing, and RDR looked like he weighed 50 pounds more than Robert Whittaker did tonight in there.
Yeah, I think RDR, like, he moves so slow and kind of just unathletic, but I really feel it must be like a freight train. Freight train is only going like 10 miles an hour, but if it touches you, boom, you go flying. I just feel like that's what RDR must feel like when he's in basically, I want to say, he's probably 220 in there. He's probably at least 10, 15 pounds heavier than Robert Whittaker. And those shots just must feel super heavy for those middleweights when they get him from RDR. So, he's a super unique fighter. And, he is now an elite UFC fighter and maybe future title contender.
We'll see.
Yeah, he's strong as hell, Casey. Because even the takedown attempts that were like stuffed, you could see like just Rob almost just like getting. If it wasn't for his amazing like takedown defense and balance, like he's just getting pushed all the way back. Like it's like you said, it is literally, he's literally in the way.
Guy.
Yeah, he's literally in front of a train and just do like, okay, I gotta just push against this thing to not go down. Like it was quite the visual. Some of those takedown attempps. Like
it's
credit to Rob, man. Rob is so good.
Yeah, and much like DDP, like just this, and I don't know, this only exists in middleweight where you can just be just super weird and just super weird, and somehow it works at middleweight. I can't explain it, but that's like the perfect weight class between like martial arts skill, athleticism, and just craziness.
We're so
I
bad. Middleweight is so bad.
It is back.
So it's so bad. It's like one of those movies. Like, this movie is so bad, but it's great. That's middleweight.
It's spectacular. Middleweight rocks. It's so good.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to some super chats. Thank you everyone for
back-to-back fight of the nights. Back-to-back fight of the nights, right? Now 318 and Abu Dhabi. It's the hottest division, man. It's got everything.
It is. It's red hot. I'm telling you. Second and third best division in the sport.
Keyless Jr.
Not sure whose judgment is worse, AK Mike's scorecard for Rob or Herzog letting Yahya lose many brain cells.
I mean,
there's many with AK and I, like a lot of people who were with us on the Whittaker scorecard. So it was a close fight.
It's close fight.
It's definitely a close fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I can name 3 or 4 guys who were on Herzog's side, and they were all in Yahya's corner. So I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, I thought Rob won. I thought Rob was up 29-28 heading into round 4. Like, that's how I looked at it. And then round 4 is real close. That ended up being the swing round of the fight. And I think all 3 judges gave RDR 5.
Yeah, all 3 judges gave RDR 5. That is correct. And
yeah, I think I gave Rob 4.
And 2 judges gave round 4 to de Ridder. So round 4 was that was
the swing round.
Yeah, it was round 4.
Uncompletely intended. Yeah, I leaned Whittaker after 4. I had Whittaker up 3 rounds to 1 heading into round 5, but did not feel great about it. And I actually thought RDR won the 5th round.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I noted going to the 5th round, I had it 3-1 for RDR, but I acknowledge that rounds 3 and 4 couldn't have gone both ways. So
yeah.
No issues of any scorecards.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keys Jr. RS40.
Let's be honest, the real contender in middleweight is Fluffy Hernandez. He's the one who matches the best against DDP and Chimaev. Who do you give to RDR? Now, this is some on to the next one stuff, faux show.
Do you give anyone to RDR, or is he just wait?
I heard someone say.
He's got to fight.
Someone say Izzy, right? Didn't someone throw Izzy out there? Was on the broadcast?
Henry Cejudo threw out Izzy, and I could not hate that idea anymore. Like, we don't need to be feeding Izzy to RDR right now. Like, come on. We need Izzy doing like fun stuff. If Fluffy beats Roman Dolidze, that's the fight to make.
I feel terrible that I repeated the words of Henry Cejudo. Now I feel really bad.
Yeah, it's Fluffy RDR. That's the one. Like, if he needed a big name to like get him over the top, yeah, but he just beat Robert Whittaker
in the main event.
He doesn't need another big name. Like, that's a good win. That's like, okay, this guy might fight for a belt right now. It's very possible. But Fluffy's just on a roll. He's got terrific wins. Like, really good wins on the resume right now. And if he goes out and just batters Roman Dolidze around, who is also on a really nice streak, Roman Dolidze versus RDR would be absolute. It'd be an appetizer for RDR DDP. Because whoever wins that fight versus DDP is going to be incredible. So I love that idea. I'll give my no pick away right now, but I think Fluffy beats Roman Dolidze, and then he can fight RDR, and the winner gets a title fight.
All right. Thank you, RS40. Super chat from David. $1.99 super chat because he just wanted to be a meanie.
Oh, no.
Wow. What will it take for visiting to shut the front door for 2 seconds?
I thought commentary tonight was fine. I thought it was fine. I didn't normally. I like the Bisping Felder combo. It was just a little. It was a little flat today. I don't think they said anything. I don't think there was any moments where I was like rolling my eyes or like, oh, this is like, oh, as I often do with like Joe Rogan and Dale Cormier and all that stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. Something about the commentary was just a little dull. Maybe that's a good thing. Like I feel like they didn't get in the way, though. Clearly, David McCaslin disagrees. Apparently, a little too much Mike Bisping. He does talk quite a bit.
Yeah, I continually complain that when Felder's there, why is Felder not doing the in-cage interviews? I just think
completely agree
so,
with that.
Yeah, but props to Peter Yan for totally not answering anything if Bisping was asking. Just like I just got my own thing to say. So God bless that man.
Yeah, Bisping's just tough, man. He's there's no gray area with Mike. You either enjoy.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, you either enjoy his commentary and think he's the best, or you don't think he's good at all. There's just really no middle ground when it comes to that. And there are certain commentators, like I know, especially there are people at our website who just cannot stand Dominic Cruz on commentary. But there are certain times where I think Dominic Cruz is really, really good. Like there was one fight night at the Apex where it was just Cruz and Anik, no third man. And I thought that was by far the best Dominic Cruz we've ever heard on commentary. And then if you put Cruz with Cormier, it's atrocious. If you put Cruz with Rogan, it's atrocious. Put Cruz with Bisping, it might be the worst broadcast you've ever watched. But if you put Cruz with Paul Felder, he's excellent. He's excellent because Felder will lay out sort of like, here's the meat and potatoes. And then Cruz will find like the intricacies of like each individual moment in a fight that like Felder sets him up beautifully for. Mm-hmm. It just all depends on like the flow and who's with them. But yeah, I get it, man. Bisping's great at the desk though. I actually think he's spectacular at the desk. Like just the 5 minutes of the post show I watched with him, Dean Thomas, and Karen Bryan, I was better. He's really good up there. Like he's so much better at the desk than he is doing commentary, but people love Bisping. So
yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes we see in broadcasting, and this is not exclusive to the UFC, is like people thinking that the roles are interchangeable. That like, oh, this person's really good on the desk, but then they should do cage side commentary too. And it's like there's very different skills. Same with doing what like Megan O'Leary does. Like I think she's awesome, but like I wouldn't want Paul Felder trying to do one of those stand up fighter intro things. Like it's extremely difficult. Like it doesn't mean that they're not capable of like filling in at times, but it's not the same. You can't just say, oh well, broadcast team, anyone can do any role. Like no, that's not the case. You gotta play to people's strengths.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of things about Bisping, but I'll move on.
Be nice, Casey.
I know. Thank you, David. A couple more super chats before we get to some other questions.
CPAG, yes, big news with the Pico fight added to 319. How does that change your opinions of the overall fight card? So yes, we were wondering, they were playing the promo for Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, setting the tone, and I was literally about to tweet, are we about to get our answer for TBD versus TBD? Are those massive spots? And then making his UFC debut against not Movsar Evloev, he will do so against Lerone Murphy, which kind of threw me by surprise a little bit, AK. So your reaction to Murphy versus Pico, and also what does that do to this card overall for you? Does it go up a notch, go down a notch, stays the same? Where are you at?
I feel like it kind of has to stay this. No. I mean, based on TBD versus TBD, which is where we last left this situation. I guess it has to go up a little bit, right? Like, I don't know if we're comparing it to Pico versus Evloev, then obviously like it's a bit of a step down with respect to Lerone Murphy. Also an undefeated featherweight. But Lerone, great fighter, not exactly known for having the most exciting fights. I know people criticize Evloev for having the same. For the same reasons, but I do think Evloev. Yeah. I do think Evloev versus Pico on paper, and again, I think they're wrong about Evloev. I actually think Evloev has like at least like 3 fights that would consider very exciting in the UFC. But it's all because of again, yes, he doesn't have any finishes. That's one. Two, Dana White like roasting him that one time for a fight that I think Dana White clearly didn't watch or mistook with another fight, so that was bad. And he hasn't like outlived that. So great job by promotion by Dana White as always. But it's a bit of a step back from the Evloev fight, just in terms of, I think whoever won Pico Evloev, we knew for sure would probably get the title fight. Evloev definitely. Pico, I think they would have fast tracked him, especially if he won like either an exciting decision or knocked Evloev out. You keep him the title fight. Murphy, I mean, I'll say the same thing. Like, if he scores a highlight reel knockout or a submission for like the first time in his life, then yeah, maybe they give Lerone the title fight. It just seems unlikely. But maybe Pico is one of those guys who will just guarantee excitement no matter where he fights. That is the hope when you bring in a guy like this, right? Is not only could he be a contender, is he going to make other fighters who are not necessarily the most exciting, just add a little bit of juice to those matchups. So we will hope that is what happens. I'm hoping for my fantasy team that Aaron Pico gets a big knockout. I was worried he might not even fight this year, depending on how the Evloev situation shook out. And otherwise, this could get ugly if we get a Lerone Murphy decision win. Oh, could be bad.
Well, look at Lerone Murphy. I know you complain he's not boring, or he's boring and everything, but his last exciting fight was when he fought a wrestler, when he knocked out Amir Khani by that giant knee. So all Pico has to do is shoot in recklessly and then make Lerone Murphy look like a goddamn, Justin Gaethje out there. So this is great.
Maybe
this fight actually makes more sense, honestly, than the Mosvar fight.
Yes, yes, true.
Yeah, I mean, I know of fans, I think we wanted the Mosvar fight just because we kind of, I don't know, want to see him fight again and get tested. But this fight actually, ranking-wise, makes, I think, more sense. And Lerone Murphy, based on his resume, has earned this shot, and I actually like this fight a lot. And I'm a weirdo. I thought the Murphy-Emmett fight was fine. I enjoyed it. I know everyone complained about it. I really enjoyed Lerone Murphy's performance in that 25-minute shutout of Josh Emmett. So, just saying. I like the fight a lot. And the card is very good.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think this is very smart on Lerone Murphy's part. Because if he just continues to wait, he would have fought. He was fighting like Steve Garcia next. Like, that was as good as it was going to get for Lerone Murphy. He wasn't going to be fighting. I know he was calling out like every top ranked featherweight. UFC had zero interest in booking any of those fights for him. So he was going to get like Yusuf Zalal or Steve Garcia or somebody like that. Like, it literally as good as it was going to get for him. So him stepping into an opportunity like this for a guy that I think he's going to beat as well, like, this is big. Like, this is a smart move. This is about as big of fanfare, eyeballs that he was possibly going to get.
Oh.
I will also say this. I know Jed like really dumps on him, and a lot of people think he's boring, and I don't think he's like the most thrilling guy of all time. Having said that Edson Barboza fight, he beat the shit out of Edson Barboza. Like, that was not what he did to Josh Emmett. He annihilated Edson Barboza. The Dan Ige fight was pretty fun too. I actually thought Dan Ige won that fight, but that's just me. And then the Josh Emmett fight was what it was. Like, not every outing is going to be like the most thrilling fight of all time. But we'll see. We'll see if he wins a boring decision against Aaron Pico, if he somehow makes Aaron Pico like a boring fighter, then I mean,
he has a superpower.
In a weird way, yeah.
Yeah, that's some weird superpower. That's like, he can make the most exciting guys just like. Bleh.
I will say,
and that in itself should be applauded. And I'm here for positivity.
Just to go back to the original question, how does that change our opinions of the overall fight card? I'll say this: I would spend $80 to watch Khamzat versus DDP no matter what. So I mean, that's so. Technically, it doesn't really change my overall. Yeah, that's like one of the 5 most exciting fights of the year. That is I would absolutely
$80, $90.
My first reaction was, I had a couple. The biggest one was, man, Evloev must be really badly hurt, because I would have waited. I would have waited another month or two. I would have thrown on 320 if we had to. Pico versus Evloev. If we had to wait 2 extra months, like, I would have been totally fine with that. But that's not what happened here. So Yeah, I don't think this needed. I don't think 319. Look, is it the greatest pay per view of all time? No, but it is. That main event rocks, and that's the biggest, one of the biggest fights of the year. So I would rather just use that fight for another card, but that's not what happened here. It's fine. It doesn't change a thing for me because of the main event.
I think, to me, I think it adds a lot to the card because I was saying this is a very boxing card, and I don't like one fight pay-per-views. I don't like boxing pay-per-views that are one fight cards, and this would have been a one fight card if it would have been if you don't put Pico on that card. So
I don't think it's like that bad though.
Kaya Sakura coming off a bad loss, unranked. I mean,
he's ranked.
Kaya Sakura is ranked in the UFC.
He should be. He just fought for the title
and lost pretty badly. I like Kaya Sakura a lot.
He's got to get ranked.
Casey,
Jared Whittaker, Michael Page, Jeff Neal, Carlos Praches, 2 ranked guys. Creative Silva's ranked.
That's off 5 in a row. Coming off losses. But
what if Casey? What if I framed it for you this way? There is no fight on this card 205 pounds or higher. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Almost every fight
sounds horrible.
Almost every fight
sounds like this card is going
downhill.
Are you trying to sell this card, or are you trying to be like, I'll take some PTO that Saturday?
No,
is that what you're asking?
No light heavyweight fights. No light heavyweight fights, and no heavyweight fights. We do have what could be one of the ugliest middleweight fights of the year when Jared Cannonier fights Michael Page, but
it balances out because we got Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Zainchuk, and no one's that's
you know what
Battle under Sultan.
The card itself is good, actually. I like the card. I like watching Chase Hooper fight. I think it's be fun. Jessica Andrade and Lupe. Yeah, that's a really good. I hope that's on the main. I know they're not gonna put that in the main card, but I hope it's the main card because I love Lupe's one of my favorite fighters to watch. And Bobby Green, Diego Ferrer, just fun fight. Barboza, close guys. We know. Fun stuff. So the whole card is good. I think the part you have to pay for is kind of weak, but great main event. Great main event. Great co-main event. Thank you. Whatever your name is. C-Pag. All right. Let's get through these couple more super chats. We'll bounce. Chase. $9.99 super chat.
My friends and I were discussing the heavyweight division, and in an inebriated thought, we discussed if Tom got hurt, would the UFC strip him or allow him the same grace John got? What do you all think?
Oh, right now he'd be stripped for sure. It's been over a year since he last fought. They would strip him without a second thought.
So gone Almeida for the vacant heavyweight.
Derek Lewis, baby.
Oh, Derek Lewis.
It would be Derek Lewis. 100%
would
be Derek Lewis. Would be thrown in there. Yes, of course. Now he's not getting the same grace John got. That was such a screwed up. I don't even know if it was grace that they were giving John. It was just such a screwed up situation where we'll never know all the discussions that were had with John and with John's management and the UFC and the UFC matchmakers and other people in the UFC. I'm sure they were like, oh, he might be back this time. He might be back this time. And it just dragged on and on and on. And the thought of stripping him probably just kept getting pushed back. Like, oh, well, let's wait till this month. And then if we really get no update, we'll vacate the title. And then it was like, but he said this. Let's wait another couple of months. And then before they realized it just got completely out of control. And then you had this nonstop back and forth between John and Tom, Dana White getting involved. And they didn't know what to do. At this point, the situation was in limbo. And they had an interim title holder. So the thought is always well, okay, the heavyweight titles guy, Undisputed is not available. We can book the interim guy. But it didn't make sense to book Tom against anybody else. So we are not in that situation now. We do have a undisputed champion, really the guy who's been the undisputed champion this whole time. But they would totally strip him. It's not a murky situation.
Easily.
Yeah, that sucks.
Just on a rumor that Tom's injured. Strip him.
Who? What?
I'm still upset it's not Aspinall versus Derek Lewis. Actually, I'm just I'm coming to terms. I have to accept it. It should be Derek Lewis. I just need to get that out there in the universe. But
Casey knows ball, baby. Casey knows ball. He knows ball.
All right, one more super chat.
I see Pico's fight going the same as the Patchy Mix fight. These guys can't sit out over a year and debut for the UFC from PFL.
The sit out for a year does suck. Sitting out for a year does suck. To come out to a sold out arena and dealing with a high level opponent, probably Pico's toughest opponent he's ever faced. after a year out. New crew, new cage, new lighting, everything's new. That is a tough one. That is tough.
He is considerably younger than Patchy. I think we should add that, right? I'm not crazy.
Not too much younger.
Oh no, right. I keep thinking
20s now.
Pico in my mind is 21-year-old super prospect.
He's still 21, right? To you,
he is a bit younger though. I will say that he is a few years younger. And I do
he is.
That
okay.
matters. Like what, 3? Like 3. I think Pico's like 28. So like 3 years younger.
Yeah.
And I think Pico was in slightly better form because people remember the Magomedov fight. There were already some holes being poked in Patchy's game, right? And Magomedov is a really good bantamweight. Really good.
Very good.
Excuse me. But like there was
Patchy was short notice. It was a short notice fight for Patchy.
Fair enough. But I do think the circumstance here. But it's not a bad comparison because LeBron Murphy could easily hand Pico a loss, and then
Pico could still be as good as we think he is, even coming off a loss. Yeah, this is true. Yes, we'll see. We'll see that if it happens, Jason.
What is Aaron Pico's best win? Just out of, is it? I think Justin Gonzalez is his best win.
Let me look at his. I don't know.
Damn. That's a really good question.
It's really. I think it's just like the.
I like Justin a lot from the regional scene, and he had a couple of Bellator wins. I think he was like 14-0 or something when Pico fought him. And Pico beat that ass. Like he dominated him. He didn't finish him, but it was about as lopsided of a 30-27 as you will see. And like he beat Adley Edwards and like, the Solo Hatley Juniors of the world. But like, I wish he fought like better guys.
But that's not on him.
I know that. I know.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Sorry. I'm not trying to.
LeBron is a big jump up from a lot of these guys.
Oh yeah. This is by 100 trips around the world, the toughest fight of Aaron Pico's career. Like without question, the toughest matchup of his career.
I personally think one of his best victories was actually his last victory over a year ago was actually his rematch against Corrales, considering Corrales knocked him out cold. And to come back and face a guy who just iced you and to dominate him and knock him out in the first round, I think that says a lot for someone the mentality of a fighter to come out and do that. So I'm gonna give a little bit of that. But also your 3-round domination is super important to the development of Pico too.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Corrales fight, the Corrales fight, like it's a good win, and it was nice like see him fight. The problem was, like, I don't even count that as a real fight. Like two guys are in the cage and fought. Yeah. Corrales took that fight on like literally 48 hours notice and had to fly to Abu Dhabi from California on like less than 3 days notice to fight Aaron Pico. Not ideal when Aaron Pico was getting ready to fight. I think it was Gabriel Braga or something like that.
Braga. Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, we got to have Pico on this PFL versus Bellator card that is falling apart by the day. And then Henry Corrales, because he's such a G. It's like, sure, I'll go over there and fight this guy. 2 days notice around the world. Absolute savage. But hey, look, it's a fight. Pico treated Henry Corrales accordingly for the situation.
But Pico's kind of, we base Pico's on our expectations of him of just kind of how he wins his fights, not necessarily who he's beat. So he's kind of like, and the Earl Murphy fight will be finally now it's who you beat. So yeah, we'll find out in a couple weeks.
I got a million questions. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
let's see. And
those are Aaron Pico's a guy that the team at Jackson Wink, though they've got behind him. Like just like they got behind John Jones. Like, no, this is our guy. And they have Aaron Pico's in that same level to them. No, this is the dude. So we will see. Very exciting though. And one last super chat before we. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say I don't like my chances of getting fantasy points here from Aaron Pico. But again, keep in mind he's on a pretty. Listen, we mentioned the name
about, man.
His only loss in his last 10 fights was the Jeremy Kennedy shoulder injury. So
and that was
he's on a pretty damn good streak. He's on a pretty damn good streak.
He threw a monster hook and his arm just left his body. That's how hard he throws. So, One last super chat before we get out of here. Thank you for all the questions, but we are not going to be able to get to all of them. Sorry, everyone.
My fellow wrestling fans, can you separate the art from the artist with Hulk? I can't. Same with, that racist MMA fighter. Yeah, we kind of talked about Hulk yesterday for Thursday on BTL. So
Yeah.
complicated career, obviously
let
super
me
valuable to the wrestling industry. He's probably the biggest star in the history of the sport. Was the huge star in two different eras while in two different promotions, which is pretty darn impressive. And then Steve Austin came along and just had that just lightning in a bottle with Austin 316 and stuff. But yeah, obviously incredibly important to the wrestling space, and it is what it is.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm with you, Terrence. Sorry, he crossed the bridge too far for me to go back on, and I acknowledge he is without a doubt the biggest wrestling star ever, and he created millions of pro wrestling WWF fans, no doubt about that. But his actions outside the ring and who he is as a person was too much for me. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into all that, but yeah, Hulk Hogan died, and he was a very famous figure. And if he's your dude, I hope you send him prayers and wishes to his family and all that stuff.
I like the question because I'll say this: I can always separate art from artists, no matter what the artist did, no matter what I can always do it. But that doesn't mean that I'll always put the art before the reputation of the artist, if that makes sense. I completely acknowledge they're two separate things. But when I talk about Hulk Hogan, the first thing I'm going to talk about is that he was a racist and a liar and a union buster and just an overall piece of crap. For me, that's the first thing that's going to come up. Then can I talk about his career and say, he had these great matches and he was this influential figure and I really enjoyed this moment when I was a kid and I really enjoyed this moment when he came back and I was an adult and blah, blah. Absolutely. I can absolutely do that. So I am separating the two. The question is, which one do you feel comfortable? Which one do you put at the forefront? Because there's a lot of athletes, a lot of entertainers who, depending what they did, if I'm talking about them, if it's something bad, the first thing I'm going to do is bring up the bad thing they did. And if you want to have a discussion about their body of work, let's have at it for sure. Like I said, I can separate it. I don't need to be that guy at the party who, every time someone's name comes up and I know they did something bad, I go oh, you guys shouldn't like this person because they did this, blah, blah. I don't have to do that. But again, if we're going to sit down and have a serious discussion, I'm going to let you know, like Casey said, some people just cross a line to a point, and where the reputation comes first and the work comes after. And a lot of people have done that. So to answer Terrence's question, I absolutely can separate. It's just a matter of which one takes priority when bringing up this person. So there you go.
And I love New Japan Hulk Hogan. If you ever get a chance, maybe.
What a hipster!
New Japan Hulk Hogan.
What a hipster, brother!
New Japan Hulk Hogan, man. I'm telling you, man, that boy could wrestle. That boy could wrestle. He could wrestle. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it was like Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis in the ECW arena watching Hulk Hogan and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But before we get out of here, little Twitter debate going on. Our BTL alum, one time appear, a fellow journalist in the space, Aaron Bronstetter, put out a tweet that I responded to, and it's created a little bit of some back and forth. This is Aaron's tweet from an hour ago. RDR gets a split decision win and, quote, has to be the front runner for fighter of the year with wins over Holland, Nickel, and now Whittaker, and it's only July. My response was over Merab, who has 2 title defenses, a win over the undefeated boogeyman of the division that he was a heavy underdog in, just nuking Sean O'Malley in a non-competitive way, and now he's fighting Corey Sandhagen. Your thoughts on Aaron and others saying that if the year ended today, Reinier de Ridder is the fighter of the year over Ilya Taporia, Merab Dvalishvili, Josh Van, or anybody else?
He wouldn't be my number one choice. And shout out, by the way, to Harmon in the comments, who actually brought this up way at the beginning of the chat. We didn't have a chance to get to it. He's definitely in the running. Harmon, when they brought it up in the comments, mentioned the Gerald Meerschaert fight. If that had also happened this year, like that was late 2024, that was November, then like would have been a much stronger case. But even with the wins he has, like I do think it's in the conversation. I'm with you, Mike. I can't put it over Merab because I valued that Umar wins so highly. Like you guys know, I was saying like Umar is going to beat Merab. Umar is going to become the new king of the bantamweight division. So the way Merab handled that fight weighed very, very heavily with me. But I don't think it's fair to rule RDR. If it ended today, like I said, I'm with Merab. I'm probably on the Merab train. But like we said, man, if RDR managed to get one more fight, like we think he's probably not getting the title fight. We don't know for sure. If he gets one more win for the end of 2025 against a ranked guy, he's really in the conversation. Because listen, I'm not putting Bo Nickel on the level of Umar at all, but there was a lot of hype in that fight for Bo, and RDR was a underdog in that fight. So that definitely, that definitely matters. And like I said, I was really impressed by the grit he showed in a 5-round fight that we weren't sure he had against a guy the level of Robert Whittaker. So not my number one choice. Top 3, I think maybe comfortably in the top 3. I have no problem putting
I just think people confuse fighter of the year versus breakout fighter of the year. That's all. Merab has done amazing things. Two dominant wins, beating undefeated Umar, and finishing O'Malley. Finishing,
but no one wanted
a true finish, on the injury finish, like dominating O'Malley. I think that by easily, it's like not even a question who the fighter of the year for the first half of 2025 is. Now RDR, as far as breakthrough and like creating new fans and whatever, dude, he's only beaten one ranked fighter. Let's just keep that in mind. One ranked fighter and a very contentious split decision. So RDR, incredible run, but Merab, dude, there was no GOAT for bantamweight a few months ago. Now we're like, hey, maybe this is the greatest 135 pounder ever. Huh?
Merab, I will say though, Merab, his case is hurt by the fact that no one, and I don't agree with this, but no one wants to see the second Sean fight. I think again, Sean is a top, for me, it's like Sean is a top 5 bantamweight. So if you beat a top 5 bantamweight, you beat a top 5 bantamweight. I don't care about the circumstance. I don't care if you just beat them, less than
dominated.
a year ago. Finished them. Looked better in the first fight. I totally understand. But people did not want that fight. A lot of people are overlooking that fight just because there's a thing of, oh, he already beat him, so I'm not giving him points again for beating him again, even if it was more impressive. And I mean, this is just me devil's advocating it. I think that was a huge win. I think it totally matters. But this is like, people want to see this fresh lineup of like, oh, well, he, RDR beat Bo Nickel. He just beat a former UFC champion. He beat Kevin Holland, who's been pretty good this year, I guess. But yeah, to me, you add that up. If you add that up, it does not outweigh two top 5 bantamweights. That's it, right? 2 top 5 bantamweights. One, which I think Merab was the underdog. He was the underdog too, Umar, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, he's a big underdog.
Like, okay, there you go. So that I mean, you got to go extra points for that. So, but RDR is in the conversation, but Merab is for me is the choice.
Merab, Ilya, I'd probably throw JDM up there, despite just one win. Just what he did against Bilal Muhammad, one of the best fights of the year, and winning. Josh Van, I would probably put higher than RDR right now because of the wins he has. It's just a better resume.
Yeah.
Overall.
And the way his stock flew up, my God, like he's now the number 1 contender at 125 pounds.
He's going to fight for a belt before the end of the year in his 4th fight of the year. If John Silva beats Diego Lopez, he immediately jumps over RDR.
Yeah, that's big.
With the year he's having.
A lot of fighters are having great years. That's all. RDR is one of those fighters.
This is going to be one of those years. We've had years where we've struggled to pick like find 5 like logical fight of the years. That won't be a problem this year. We're gonna have some snubs, like some unfortunate snubs. There's some really, really good campaigns going on.
Wait, have all RDR's fights been this year?
No. Jared Meerschaert was November.
Oh, okay, it was in November. Okay,
yeah.
I was just like, is he rookie of the year?
Which this young whippersnapper.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Our whole just I don't know. Hey, we have rookie of the year, but
we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
We might have to reinstitute breakout fighter of the year. The only reason we got rid of breakout fighter of the year was because you people got so mad. Like you're so vocal about it. People are getting death threats at the site.
Yeah. Oh, not us. You mean the readers?
Me?
I
did. I wrote up. I did was write up the tabulated votes that Khamzat Chimaev was the breakout fighter of the year in 2020 over Kevin Holland, and people lost it.
That was the right decision. That was the right decision. Easily.
It was. And people were so mad. Like the amount of just hurtful shit that was set in my direction. People were like, you should die because you wrote this. I'm like, look at the chart. I'm like, I actually picked Kevin Holland, I think. But I was like, but it's totally fine. Like there's ways you break out. Breakout is like, whoa, this dude went from unranked to ranked and might fight for a belt.
Yeah.
But people knew who Kevin Holland was heading into 2020. No one knew who Khamzat was until the end of that year. And it ended with him knocking out Gerald Meerschaert with the first punch he throws in 16 seconds. And just from where he started that year, just like fighting randomly short notice on a Fight Island card in front of no people, and then fighting a week later and then knocking out Gerald Meerschaert in 16 seconds. Like he was the boogeyman. People were ready. They offered him Leon Edwards after that win over Gerald Meerschaert. And then it was so crazy that Leon got pulled from the rankings for like a week because of Khamzat Chimaev. Like Kevin Holland wasn't getting people removed from the rankings. So yeah, so maybe we'll have to bring it back. I think we just have to, because we can't have Marcus Buchecha being the rookie of the year. You know,
he got robbed in his first UFC, a robbery in his first UFC fight.
I feel like Budai has really broken out, if we're being honest. Like I think he might be the breakout fighter of the year. Actually, how many times has he fought this year? Am I even being sarcastic? Didn't he
am I being sarcastic? I don't know.
Isn't he like, hold on. Budai is 2-0 this year. You know what? Let's revisit this in 4 months. Let's revisit this.
Buchecha, and who else did he beat?
Can anyone in the comments get this? If you give me the first
nobody
the first
knows.
name
Nobody
of this
knows.
guy,
It's a mystery. Nobody knows.
I'm looking at it right now. As I was researching for this card, I was like, I know I watched this fight. I don't remember this fight at all. There's no way I can remember anything from this fight. I just want to see if anyone can get. Okay, it is.
Oh my god! Yeah, I would have never gotten this.
I don't know. Yoran Satibaldiev. Yoran Satibaldiev. Of course, we all remember this fight. Of course.
You know what? I do remember this. He was like a middleweight taking a featherweight fight. Yeah, he was the LFA light heavyweight champion. He took the fight on short notice. I actually picked DR to win that fight. Now that I look at my Tapology histories, but we're done with the first Dair Nurgazai mention. Have a good night, everybody. AK and I match tomorrow.
You're on.
Let's go. You're on.
Oh, he's fighting DR August 23rd. Don't miss it.
I'll be there.